George Santos says that he expects he will be expelled this week, prompting him to start revealing the dirt about his colleagues. Serial liar and Republican Congressman George Santos is desperate, to say the least. He did a bizarre and unhinged Twitter or X Spaces live stream sort of deal. So just audio where he rants about how he doesn't care if he gets expelled this week and he expects to be, and then randomly starts accusing his colleagues of adultery and of coming to work hungover and all sorts of different wild things that we'll listen to in just a bit. Of course, the context is before Thanksgiving, the House Ethics Committee released their report that revealed there is extensive evidence, as we've known, that Santos committed crimes, including that he used campaign donations for purposes you're not allowed to, including on things like Botox and OnlyFans. Very strange. Never gets old. And an expulsion vote is expected Wednesday, I think it is, and if not tomorrow, then sometime this week. First, here's him saying that he expects to be expelled and he'll wear it like a badge of honor.
Here, you want to expel me? I'll wear it like a badge of honor. I'll be the 6th expelled member of Congress in the history of Congress. And guess what? I'll be the only one expelled without a conviction.
He's giving off weird vibes, I have to say. If you're going to pretend like you don't care about being expelled, you'll wear it like a badge of honor. Maybe don't be speaking in such a terrified tone of voice. Then we get into him spilling the tea on his colleagues before playing this one. I love the way that Ron Filipkowski from Mice Touch introduced this story. When North Carolina Congressman Madison Cawthorn, Filipkowski writes, was embroiled in one controversy after another, most of his Republican colleagues rolled their eyes but did nothing. Then Cawthorn was caught on tape accusing them of engaging in drug-fueled orgies, and his support evaporated. He drew a primary challenge from the Republican establishment, and he was defeated. George Santos seems to be doing something similar, but he appears ready to take down some of his colleagues openly after they have already abandoned him. Indeed, take a look.
Because I don't want to work with a bunch of hypocrites. It's gross. I have colleagues who are more worried about getting drunk every night with the next lobbyist that they're going to screw and pretend like none of us know what's going on and sell off the American people, not show up to vote because they're too hungover or whatever the reason is, or not show up to vote at all and just give their card out like fucking candy for someone else to vote for them. This shit happens every single week. Where are the ethics investigations and that? That breaks House rules.
Oh, George. It's always hilarious to see people all of a sudden having moral awakenings when they're on their way out. That's always when it happens. So he's alleging that, I guess, his colleagues are getting drunk with lobbyists and then sleeping with them. Probably. Name names, George. And then, just since the audio is so bad, I want to read this next quote to you so we don't have to listen to the bad audio for the entire segment. Here's this quote: "Reporters don't care about adultery anymore. And trust me, there's been plenty of it in this Congress. But nobody writes about it anymore because George Santos is here. They should look at this. They should look at it this way. With George being around, a lot of this stuff, but he used a different term, is going under the rug because none of the reporters write about it anymore. I'm just putting that out there because I think it's relevant. Here's the deal, George. Even though adultery is absolutely morally wrong, diving into the personal lives of politicians to prove that they've engaged in adultery is less politically relevant. Sometimes it is, like with the Party of Family Values Republicans proving hypocrisy, but less relevant than proving that you lied about nearly every aspect of who you were to get into Congress. That's super, super relevant to our political conversation. So yes, it makes sense that the media is more interested in the way that you've defrauded your voters and seemingly committed a bunch of crimes. Nothing is inconsistent, I guess, is the point, or wrong on behalf of the media in being really interested in that. Then in another moral epiphany of sorts, in what was apparently a 3-hour rant on the part of George Santos, my goodness, pretty crazy. He discusses the stock trading of his colleagues, something progressives have been calling attention to for a long time. Take a look.
who has no real track record of trading. And the moment this member took on one of the most powerful committees in the United States House of Representatives, this member has been able to outperform every single pointed measure of stock trading this year so far. I mean, talk about insider trading. And there's so much proof to just pinpoint to dates and times of when trades happen and when information was bought in front of that specific committee.
So I think George Santos might be the wrong person to be the face of a congressional stock trade ban movement, but still interesting to hear for sure. And it's something I absolutely do want to get done. And then final clip from this meltdown. Here's George Santos saying potentially the only thing that will actually fire up MAGA. Elected Republicans aren't pro-Trump enough.
We have a shot at President Trump getting elected because he is going to be undermined all throughout this election process by the very people that should be supporting him, throwing hands on blades to take the White House back. These people will undermine him. They will get in his way. They will redirect voters from him to others. Make no mistake, there is a lot of members in this body who hate Donald Trump in the Republican Party, and they say it openly. They're not even hiding it anymore. So just be careful and weary of that.
I feel like he thinks that he sounds inspirational. They will undermine him. They will get in his way. That's how he was speaking. Very strange. It is going to be wonderful watching him vanish into political irrelevance, hopefully. Luckily, as I've mentioned in a past segment, even if he's not expelled, he's announced that he won't be running for re-election, so we won't have to deal with him, at least after the 2024 election in Congress, which is very soon. Just to round all this out, here's an ABC News report that gives us the latest on the potential expulsion of George Santos and the situation with his legal troubles.
Representative George Santos is expected to be expelled from Congress after a House ethics report accused him of campaign finance violations and lying. Senior congressional correspondent Rachel Scott has the latest. Good morning, Rachel.
George, good morning to you. Congressman George Santos has been defiant for months, refusing to resign, but now he acknowledges he could be expelled from Congress in a matter of days. This morning, with momentum building to vote him out of Congress, Congressman George Santos says he expects it to happen as early as this week.
I have done the math over and over. It doesn't look really good.
A growing number of lawmakers, including his fellow Republicans, now signaling they will vote to oust him after that scathing Ethics Committee report found the Long Island congressman sought to fraudulently exploit every aspect of his House candidacy for his own personal financial profit.
Congressman, did you misuse campaign finances?
He's through the way, blocking entrance.
Santos calls the report a politicized smear. Santos has pleaded not guilty to 23 federal charges, accused of multiple criminal schemes, including unemployment and wire fraud. But the ethics report goes even further, alleging he spent campaign funds on Botox treatments, vacations, designer clothing, rent, and on the website OnlyFans, known for its adult content.
He should not be sitting in Congress while he awaits this trial.
Santos refused to address any of the specific allegations detailed in that report. The resolution to expel him could come to the floor as early as Wednesday, Lindsay.
So it really isn't looking good for George Santos. And I do think the widely held expectation is that he'll be out of Congress by the end of the week, which is very exciting. Some good things are actually happening, maybe. Before you go, don't forget to become a member at lukebeasley.com/membership to get the daily bonus show Monday through Friday. Plus, follow me on Threads at Luke Beasley Official, Instagram at Luke Beasley Official, X at Luke P. Beasley, and sign up for the Beasley Brief, a daily morning newsletter that summarizes the previous day's events by going to lukebeasleyshow.com/brief. And I'll talk to you all next time.